Imagine holding a small piece of history in your hand, something that has traveled through generations, carried in pockets during the roaring 1920s, and perhaps even used to buy a stick of gum or a newspaper on a bustling city street. That's the story of the 1926 Lincoln Wheat Cent, a coin that seems ordinary at first glance, but has a fascinating past, and, in some cases, can be worth far more than just 1 cent. The 1926 penny belongs to the beloved Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which started back in 1909 when the United States Mint replaced the Indian head cent with a new design honoring President Abraham Lincoln. This was the first time a real person's portrait appeared on a U.S. coin, and it was a huge deal. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it featured Lincoln's bust on the obverse, or front side, with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, liberty to the left, and the date to the right. On the reverse, Brenner designed 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum across the top. That simple but powerful wheat design gave the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Now, when we talk about the 1926 penny, we're really talking about 3 different versions. These coins were minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with a small d, and in San Francisco with an S. The Philadelphia mint struck the most, with over 157 million coins, so those are the most common today. Denver produced about 28 million, while San Francisco struck just under 5 million, making the 1926 S penny the rarest and most desirable of the group. But why does this coin matter so much? Well, you have to think about the era it represents. The year 1926 was right in the middle of the Roaring '20s, a time of jazz, flapper dresses, silent films turning into talkies, and an economy that seemed unstoppably, at least until the Great Depression hit a few years later. People who spent these pennies might have been listening to Louis Armstrong on the radio, going to see Babe Ruth at the ballpark, or enjoying Henry Ford's Model T. This little copper coin is like a tiny time capsule from that world. In terms of design, the 1926 penny didn't introduce anything new compared to earlier years. But what makes it special today is its rarity and high grades. You see, most pennies were heavily used, passed around in everyday commerce until they became worn down and brown. Finding a 1926 penny in well-preserved condition, with its original red luster, is very tough. That's where the real value lies. So, let's talk about money, because that's what most collectors want to know. A 1926 Philadelphia penny, in average circulated condition, is usually worth only 25 cents to maybe $1. Not life-changing, but still much more than face value. A Denver coin might fetch between $1 and $5 depending on its condition. But the San Francisco Mint version, the 1926S, is where things get interesting. In lower grades, it can be worth $10 to $50. But in higher grades, especially if it still has that original reddish color, it can sell for thousands. In fact, some pristine examples graded mint state red have sold for well over $10,000 at auction. That's right, a single penny that once bought a piece of candy can now pay for a used car, all because of its rarity and condition. If you happen to come across a 1926 penny, you'll want to check 2 things, the mint mark and the condition. Look right under the date for a D or an S. If there's no letter, it's from Philadelphia. If it's an S, then you might be in luck. Next, examine the coin's surface. Is it worn and brown, or does it still shine with a reddish tint? Collectors love coins that look as close to new as possible. So, where do you sell a coin like this if you're lucky enough to own one? You've got a few good options. Local coin shops are always a solid start, because you can talk face with an expert who knows the market. Coin shows and conventions are another great place, where collectors and dealers gather specifically to buy and sell treasures like this. If you prefer the modern route, online auction platforms like eBay or heritage auctions allow you to reach thousands of collectors worldwide. Just remember, if your coin looks especially rare or valuable, it's a smart move to have it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. A slabbed coin with a certified grade almost always sells for more, because buyers trust what they're getting. The 1926 penny is a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold big stories. A coin like this doesn't just represent 1 cent of buying power, it represents history, craftsmanship, and the unpredictable journey of time. It's a coin that reminds us to look closely at the little things, because sometimes the littlest things can turn out to be treasures worth thousands. So next time you're going through an old jar of coins, don't ignore those wheat pennies. That dusty brown cent might just be a 1926S hiding in plain sight, waiting to surprise you with its story and its value. After all, history isn't just found in textbooks, it can be found in the palm of your hand.